Hello, everybody. Meteorologist EJ Picky here with you guys. Hopefully, you have been staying warm because, man, has it been a frigid start to our Friday. Now, this morning got down to the middle and even lower teens when it comes to negatives, and that's our actual air temperature. Wind chills got down to negative 38 in Rockford and negative 42 up in Janesville. So, yeah, it has been downright frigid. Now, I am happy to report that the coldest air is now behind us, but still looking at dangerously cold temperatures over the next couple of hours and over the next couple of days as well, as a cold weather advisory is in effect from now all the way until Saturday at 9 a.m. So, wind chills still expect to be close to 25 to 30 degrees below zero. Now, if there is one positive when it comes to our weather, is that we're seeing ample amounts of sunshine. So, definitely looks very inviting to be outdoors, but again, just how cold it is, not as much. Now, take a look at a broader picture of the United States. We can kind of see the effects of what this polar vortex has really been doing across the U.S., as a lot of the southern portions of the U.S. are currently underneath a winter storm warning. And with that in mind, well, they could see quite a bit of snow, some ice, and that's along the south, so definitely not as good as what we have up here toward the north, as we just have to deal with the cold, not so much about how do we get out of our houses with just that much snow. So definitely avoided that there. But when it comes to our winds, they're currently out of the northwest near about 10 to 15 or so miles per hour. And that has brought down our temperatures considerably as that Arctic front came through yesterday evening. As we're seeing temperature changes close to 30 to 25 degrees compared to what we had here yesterday, right around 1 o'clock. As temperatures still sitting well into the negatives at negative 10 in Rockford, negative 9 up in Janesville, Galena, the cold spot, at negative 12. Sterling Rock Falls has been slightly warmer, only down to negative 4 degrees, but wind chills still as brisk as ever, sitting in the right around 25 to 30 degrees below zero. So that's still going to pose some factors when it comes to frostbite. And these temperatures that you're seeing right now for our wind chills are pretty much what we expect throughout the remainder of the afternoon and into the evening and overnight hours, as we'll be sticking right around 25 to 30 degrees below zero. And with that in mind, well, frostbite is going to be a major factor. Not as bad as what we had here earlier on this morning, as frostbite times were as low as 10 minutes, but with wind chills close to 30 degrees below zero, that only goes down to 20 minutes or less. So that could be on any exposed skin. So as you head out the door, please make sure you are wearing multiple layers, gloves, hats, scarves, mittens, basically anything that could cover any sort of exposed skin, as frostbite, once again, is a major concern for us here throughout the rest of today. Now, as we get into the overnight hours, we're going to see wind chills right around negative 20 degrees by Saturday morning. But as we get towards Saturday afternoon, could see quote unquote a little bit of relief as wind chills get back up towards 0 degrees. Now, I think this is overdone just a little bit from Timecast, as winds are expected to be on the calm side tomorrow afternoon. But even a 3-mile-per-hour wind will quickly drop our wind chills back down to 0, if not into those low negatives. But as we progress on overnight Saturday into Sunday, once again, winds will start to pick back up. And that means wind chills fall once again down to 15 to 20 degrees below zero, and pretty much throughout our Sunday, sticking well below that 0 degree mark and even into our Monday morning. So the cold that has been here, well, it is set to last. So with that in mind, some cold safety tips. Again, if you are going outdoors, you want to make sure that you are wearing plentiful amounts of clothing. That includes multiple layers, gloves, hats, scarves. Don't want to do the whole list again, but if at all possible, I think staying indoors is by far going to be your best bet. If you have to go out and drive, have an emergency kit at the ready. That could include extra food, extra clothes, as dry clothes are going to be essential. Any sort of water on any of your clothing could quickly increase just how fast you lose heat, as a wet surface loses heat 20 times as fast as a dry surface. So with it already being negative 25 to negative 30 degree wind chills, the Mother Nature doesn't need any sort of help from that aspect. So with that in mind, again, frostbite could happen in as little as 20 minutes, and your furry little friends will keep their time outside to a minimum. And if they're outdoors, you want to bring them inside, or at least get them into some sort of shelter. Now, I also want to take a look at an upcoming snow chance as we get into the evening and overnight hours of Saturday into our Sunday, as the big winter storm warnings across the Midwest and up toward the north and east, well, that could potentially reach us a little bit up here, but don't think we'll be anywhere close to winter storm warning category, and maybe not even winter weather advisory, as a lot of the moisture will stay just to our south south to southeast. So that is definitely something to keep in mind that we're keeping a close eye on. But luckily for us, I do think most of it will stay to our south. However, if it does continue to trend just up to the north a little bit more, we could be getting a lot of really light and really fluffy snow that could quickly accumulate maybe a couple of inches over the course of just a couple of hours. And the problem with that kind of snow is no matter how many times you shovel it off, just how fine it is, any sort of wind will quickly blow it back onto our roads and sidewalks and driveways. So shoveling is going to be a kind of a never-ending task. So that'll be something we are keeping an eye on. But as of now, I give us maybe a 40% chance to see any sort of snowfall across the state line, which in my opinion is a bit of good news. Now, it's not good news just how long this cold is set to stay, as temperatures are looking to be favoring below normal basically from now all the way through the middle portions and the end portions of next week. So with that in mind, winter coats, scarves, hats, and all that are going to be staples with our wardrobe, so just kind of get used to wearing them now, and if you don't have any at the ready, well, maybe it's time to go out shopping and buying some. But of course, with just how cold it's going to be in our upcoming potential winter system as we get into our Saturday night into Sunday, I would recommend downloading our WIFR First Alert Weather app, where if we see any changes in that forecast for snow Saturday, or if we get anywhere close to dangerously cold temperatures again, of course, we will be the first ones to let you guys know. But for now, we're going to let you guys get back. Hopefully you are enjoying a bit of sunshine, maybe not outdoors, but definitely as you're driving or staying indoors, it is relatively nice. Otherwise, it is just downright frigid, so make sure you guys are staying warm and staying indoors as much as possible. Until then, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.